Hey, it's Molly. Welcome back to my channel as we discuss the first eclipse of 2025, the Virgo lunar eclipse occurring on March 14th, 2025 at 2:53 a.m. So it could be on March 13th for you if you're in an earlier time zone. This Virgo lunar eclipse is a full moon happening at 23 degrees of Virgo, 56 minutes. So we round up to 24 degrees of Virgo in your chart. This is the degree point to identify, as this is where the universe is illuminating for you, where you're ready to make life changes, corrections, improvements, as well as what you are cleaning out and letting go of. This moon is opposite the sun at 23 degrees of Pisces, 56 minutes here. And because it is a full moon, of course, the sun and the moon are in opposite areas of your chart. Now, one thing I do want to highlight before going much further is that this is a lunar eclipse with endings in two areas of your chart. And the endings are showing up with the Virgo lunar eclipse conjunct the South Node in Virgo, which is a release point, and then the strong stellium of energies here in Pisces. Pisces being the final sign of the zodiac, and Pisces being where we are also clearing out, transcending, dissolving energies, especially in this last decan of the Pisces journey. So endings are happening in two sections of your life, of your chart. And this is an interesting lunar eclipse because you could really be feeling that a lot is clearing out, exiting, and disappearing. Now, with this particular lunar eclipse, you can see that the moon is all by itself on this side of the chart. And the moon, after it's at its full peak illumination, will move ahead a few hours after the eclipse and be exactly conjunct the South Node. So there is an understanding that what you are coming to terms with or realizing that it's not working. Something's not working and you feel it. You sense it. That moon in Virgo is smart, keen, aware, observant, intellectual. Also, there's a connection to the body with Virgo because one of the strengths of Virgo is the beautiful synergy between the intellect and the body, the physical and the mental, and how when those are working together cohesively, you're focused, you're clear, aware, you're able to get things done. But this is a lunar eclipse about exiting, closing out what isn't working for you, and to give yourself an understanding of what to correct, improve, or change, especially a little shift. Virgo also focuses on the minutia, the details, and the specifics. So what is one specific area of life you can improve through the Virgo themes that this lunar eclipse is revealing to you? Now, on the opposite side of the chart, of course, we have the full lineup of Team Pisces, where the sun has passed the exact conjunction to Saturn, is approaching a conjunction to that North Node, and will be working with Neptune in the final degrees of the whole zodiac wheel before this Neptune enters Aries March 30th. The sun is traversing through areas of your consciousness that are coming to your awareness that you are meeting and needing to make changes around. This is the subconscious and how powerful it is within us. How we aren't always perhaps seeing or witnessing, observing things as they are, but we're witnessing them through the energies that we are experiencing and feeling. This is very intuitive energy here. The sun is moving through each of these points this week. It's March 12th through March 19th. The sun is coming through and making conjunctions to all three of these planets or points in Pisces. Something is coming to your awareness that has been operating behind the scenes within your energy field. And it could also show you what hasn't been working for you, where you wanted a different outcome or result that hasn't been delivered. What needs to change to get the results you want? So here's a simple example. In Virgo, we want to improve our health. We want to be nutritious. We want to be exercising, eating well. We want to be optimizing the best of our energy. So maybe even in this recent year, you decided to make improvements in your eating habits. You wanted to lose weight. You wanted to establish a new exercise program or just improve your overall well-being. And here it is, the middle of March, and you're like, I'm not getting the results I want. This isn't working. What isn't changing? Well, because Virgo is about what is happening, what is showing up, what is being revealed as a result, the answer lies in what's going on in your subconscious that is potentially sabotaging you, where you don't have a true belief in what you want, and maybe that could be related to you're not feeling like you can really do it. There can be self-sabotage here. There can be numbing and coping mechanisms in play in Pisces, things you do behind the scenes that other people aren't aware of. So maybe you show up to the gym and you're on that treadmill, you're lifting those weights, you're talking with your coach, you're doing these things, but at the end of the day, if you're, eating all this food at night, if you're essentially sabotaging your own workout routine, then that's why you're not getting the results. And with all this energy in Pisces, it's about looking at our subconscious and how it's operating, whether it's operating for us or against us. And so if you're realizing, okay, I haven't been losing the weight I want, or I'm not getting the development that I seek, my body isn't as strong as I'd like it to be, it's because I have to be very honest with myself, Saturn conjunct the sun, about what I'm really doing in the realms of self-sabotage, secrets, behind-the-scenes habits, especially with weight loss, where it's like, if you're consuming a lot of calories, if you're not really making changes in your eating habits, that will have a big effect on the outcome. So this is understanding that the Pisces energies here are very important to make note of. And that there is a new relationship that needs to be established between the Pisces and Virgo axis in your chart. Virgo is what we have to work for. You've got to get better at it, develop a skill, go to school, learn something about it, take on the knowledge, and then apply it, use it, put it into motion, and do something with that understanding. And Pisces is the opposite, where this is where things can arrive in divine timing. You relax, you exhale, you lean back, you don't force it, you trust it, and you don't know the when, why, who, how, where. Pisces is the sense of, I'm not going to try to micromanage this. I'm not going to try and do too much or overexert my energy. Virgo is the how. How's it going to happen? Pisces is, I don't know how it's going to happen, but I feel that it will. We are realigning all of our spiritual, emotional, intuitive gifts with these 4 planets and points in Pisces, with a new understanding of what's been showing up in our lives and what has been influencing outcomes. Virgo is also about responsibility, taking responsibility for what is. This is also revealing what's been hidden. And because the Pisces energy here is so strong, there is a big reality check about what hasn't been seen before. So this could be that evidence comes forward. Evidence is revealed, something is stated, declared, facts are provided. There's also this strong Pisces influence that can be quite karmic, especially in the last 10 degrees here of Pisces, of what needs to be completed. And right around this lunar eclipse, Saturn is giving that message to the sun, saying, you've got to take care of this. You have to handle this. This needs to be finalized. And how are you facing the music? How are you taking responsibility for whatever that might be? And it could feel uncomfortable. It could feel, with Saturn opposing the moon, oof, that could be something as disappointing, a letdown, a challenge, something you don't want to take care of, but then once it's done, it's done. I feel too like this particular lunar eclipse is meant to ground us in the reality of our lives and how we are living our lives right now. And how you're energetically coping with all of this Pisces messiness and chaos and the uncertainty, how you are physically handling the overwhelm. If you feel overwhelmed, there could be a big health check-in here, as that is part of the Virgo Pisces axis, is that this is your physical health and well-being, and this is mental health, emotional health. And again, what's hidden? Because, there can be disorders and conditions that people have privately that you wouldn't see or know visually in Virgo. So what we're looking at here is all layers of our health. What's really working, what's not working, and you got to be honest with yourself. Like, okay, this isn't working. I'm sabotaging myself, or I'm not dealing with something, or I'm stuck in an old pattern, an old habit. I've got to face the music. I've got to make changes. And the beautiful thing is that this is going to be a powerful catalyst for that forward movement and the transitions that are needed. Because the second half of March, when things kick into gear in Aries season, you're going to be ready for the new. And even if this is a downer, or even if there's something you're realizing you need to be better at, do speak kindly to yourself. Speak kindly to yourself about what you are improving. Now, this Mercury is moving very slowly because Mercury stations retrograde officially on March 15th. So it's actually 24 hours after this eclipse. Mercury is at a standstill at 9 degrees of Aries, conjunct Venus, who's also retrograde, who wants you to be loving and kind to yourself through this conjunction between the two. And note that you could feel like, I'm ready to do better. I'm ready to do this differently. I'm ready for a new start. And I feel that this conjunction, Venus provides more grace and eloquence. Venus is like, hey, don't talk against yourself. Don't work against yourself. Just know that you're ready to learn something new, learn something that's better for you now. And don't be at war with yourself, which can be part of the retrograde in Aries benefits, okay? Where you're like, if you're fighting yourself, the retrograde here with both this Mercury and Venus is going to be like, just calm it down. Don't go to war with yourself. Don't fight yourself, but be honest with yourself. What do you need to change? What do you need to improve? And this is a Virgo lunar eclipse that can set you up for that based on what has been, what you've been through, and also what you already feel you're moving away from. There could be a big acceptance here. An acceptance of what you're doing that isn't serving you and perhaps isn't serving anyone. So I think there's going to be some realizations here around our own hidden habits, patterns, coping mechanisms, parts of ourselves that have even been able to persist and perpetuate because they haven't been challenged. Now they're being challenged. They're being challenged by reality. Reality is coming in here. And Virgo is saying, this is what you need to see, know, and understand. This is a revelation of some kind. So this could bring up secretive matters, which is also Pisces. You know, the understanding of who you really are, who someone else really is. Maybe that's the reality check with Saturn working here in this eclipse, is that you realize you're disappointed in yourself or in a loved one, or, you know, you weren't seeing something accurately. It does remind me of a show I recently saw on Netflix called The Search for Instagram's Worst Con Artist. And it's about this woman who established her whole Instagram platform based on lies. She lied about having brain cancer for years. And she just built her platform on the lie that nobody really challenged until an investigative journalist challenged it, until her friends were like, you're faking this. This isn't real. 2015 was also the last time we had the nodes in Pisces and Virgo. So it brings up these themes of what's off? Where are you feeling like something's off? Be curious, right? Ask questions. So there's a sense here that we could be in confusion, figuring things out, and then there's revelations around information, evidence, details that we need to see. And it's personal with the moon. It's personal. Now, of course, this moon does have support with Uranus here at 24 degrees of Taurus direct. And this Uranus sextiling the sun also will be in an ongoing sextile with the North Node in Pisces, and then approaching exact sextile with this Saturn in Pisces. So these planets here and points, the North Node in Pisces, are in a sextile for long term with this Uranus. The moon is fast moving. So the moon has the sextile and it's heightened for the lunar eclipse. And then of course the moon moves on. But Uranus is important because it brings in more fast moving developments and changes that also show where the solutions are, what to do next, what needs to be worked with, the resources involved. The fast moving Uranus energy can also help break us out of a funk here, anything that's stuck in Pisces, or any criticism or stress, especially the stress of this lunar eclipse in Virgo, the stress can be relieved through unexpected developments and next steps. And Uranus loves that breakthrough moment, loves an understanding of this is what it's about, and this is how to move the energy forward. And so the bigger influence here that Uranus has is with the planets in Pisces, who are getting a grip on reality through Uranus in Taurus and understanding, yeah, this needs to close out. This needs to end. I need to do this because I'm worth it. I'm worth that next version or that new part of myself. Like, this is also recognizing, well, what do you want? And what do you need to let go of in order to honor what you really desire? Taurus is what we accumulate and own, what we call in the physical. And so, as I mentioned at the start, 2 areas of the chart are experiencing endings and closures, the Pisces and the Virgo. But this influence of Uranus is saying, hey, there is a new doorway opening. It's right over here. And this Mars, now direct, picking up strength in Cancer after some emotional depths, turmoil, and even facing parts of himself he didn't want to see. This Mars is also gaining strength, and he's allowing himself to go forward, but has to remember what he's learned about his emotional self and his emotional needs. He is in trine here to the Sun and Saturn in Pisces. The exact trine to the Sun was about 5 days before the eclipse, but it's still in a conversation. They're both in water signs of empathy, support, kindness. And I think that this Mars is coming back wiser. Now, the Mars energy moves ahead, and we'll have a conversation, a more powerful conversation with Saturn and Uranus in April. So he's making moves forward, albeit still slowly, but there could be some, it's like there's this new willpower, this new understanding of what matters to Mars, connected to trusting himself and what he needs, that might be something that's coming forward for the first time in one's life. Trusting what you need and allowing that to move you into a new direction. Mars is still coming off that square to Chiron, though, so he still feels a little weak, working through some injuries and hurts from the past. He's been in this square to Chiron for a little bit, and it's going to be exact going forward. So just note that that's partly why this Mars isn't moving too quickly. I feel like there could be a sense of conserving one's energy, and then when the exact square to Chiron occurs, it's checking in on who he is now and accepting either things he's done in the past, who he's been in the past, his emotional state in the past. He's in this internal processing still. So he's still quiet. He's still quieter, especially as he approaches that exact square to Chiron here in Aries, his home sign. So it's quite a lunar eclipse we've got here, this Virgo lunar eclipse. Keep in mind, it's the first Virgo eclipse of 4. We have 4 Virgo eclipses into February 2027. And so the Virgo areas of your life are being reworked, improved, upgraded. And this is where you again, you have that sense of, okay, what is not working that I need to take responsibility for and change? And when you're able to do that, the next steps come in faster, and it can help you see what's been operating within your own subconscious, what you need to change, improve, or upgrade as well, so that you can be in greater harmony with yourself, with not only the mental, physical of Virgo, but the spiritual, emotional, intuitive of Pisces. March is a big month. We've been talking about that, and we've been discussing it both through the lens of the Venus retrograde, this eclipse. Of course, we have the second Aries solar eclipse coming up on March 29th, and then Neptune enters Aries March 30th. So we are in a period of big life changes, and that can be scary and uncertain, which is also this Pisces energy. But something is beckoning you forward, and I feel like that's going to become more certain as Neptune moves into Aries. I will have some videos for you discussing Neptune and Aries, some of the downloads and messages I've been receiving about that. And it's about trusting this next version of yourself that is coming to life and is going to help open up more possibilities for you going forward into 2025 and beyond. If you want more understanding of the Pisces Virgo energies, please check out my program on these nodes of fate as I go into more specifics of what the Virgo South Node is clearing out and changing, and what this North Node in Pisces is bringing in, which is very important to note. If you have a strong Virgo and Pisces in your chart, especially those of you born in the 1960s, mid-1960s as well, if you have outer planets in Virgo and Pisces. So I offer that as another way of understanding the changes that are unfolding here. And as always, I hope this helps you connect some dots and understand what the universe is transitioning you away from, what is ending, falling away and completing, so that you can move into a new start that your soul is ready for. Thank you so much for your comments and likes. I really appreciate it. And thank you for sharing this with others who would also benefit from understanding how eclipse season is going to work with them. I'll be back soon with another video discussing the Aries solar eclipse. Have a beautiful March.